It's your storytime reader, Ms. Nikki. Can you imagine becoming deathly ill from just drinking water? Most of us are very fortunate to have clean drinking water, but sadly, there are millions of people who are not as fortunate, who don't have clean drinking water and become deathly sick from drinking unclean water. In today's book, we will learn about Tantoh Nfoba, an environmental hero who brings clean water and bountiful gardens to his Central African nation of Cameroon. Today's read aloud is a non-fiction picture book biography titled I Am Farmer. I Am Farmer, written by Baptiste and Miranda. Author Baptiste is an environmental scientist, and Miranda is the award-winning author of the book One Plastic Bag. This book is beautifully illustrated by Elizabeth Zunon, who also illustrated One Plastic Bag. This is northwestern Cameroon, green, wet, alive. The rainy season has begun. A young boy arrives at his grandmother's farm, his feet squished beneath rows of cabbage and beans. His small hands plunge into the dirt. Nshi. Oh, Tantoh, his father laughs. His grandmother laughs too. They do not stop him. They understand his joy. Tantoh rummages through grandmother's market basket. A sharp smell fills the air. Onions! He wonders if he can grow them by himself. He sneaks them under a banana tree. Each day, when he checks on his secret garden, the greens have shriveled a bit more. Eventually, the bulbs dry up. Why won't they grow, Maunkufu? He asks his grandmother. They need sunlight and earth, she says, and most importantly, water. She explains that nature has its own ways of working. Tantoh wants to learn more. He wants to learn everything. When he begins school, Tantoh drinks up facts and figures faster than his teacher can pour them onto the chalkboard. His hand shoots up like a cornstalk. Teachers frown. Too many questions. Students giggle. What's so interesting about plants and dirt and weather? As a teenager, Tantoh is still fascinated by nature. Tantoh's father is sick, but he finds a way to buy his son a shovel and other gardening supplies. Tantoh uses these tools every day and keeps record books of the seeds he's planted and how long each one takes to grow. He shows his biology teacher, Mr. Ken, his records. His classmates give him a nickname, Farmer. It is not a nice name. It is a name that is meant to make him feel as low as the dirt beneath his feet. But Tantoh loves the dirt. He loves the texture of roots. He loves the smell of dark, wet soil. He loves the corn it can grow and the fufu it provides for his brothers and sisters, especially now that his father is dying. One morning, he makes himself a new school uniform. He puts big letters on the front. Tantoh wears the shirt to school for the rest of high school. His elder brother shakes his head. Farmers are very poor. His brother urges him to do well on a special upcoming exam so he can provide for the family. If you get good marks, you can work in an office, be a police officer or a teacher. On the day of his exams, Tantoh considers his brother's advice. Their father has died, and his brother is now the head of the family. Tantoh fills in the correct answers, the ones that will get him a good-paying office job. Before he hands in his exam, he wipes dust off his desk. dust that reminds him how dry the land can be. His own mother and neighbors walk far to get clean water and struggle to grow enough food. He imagines himself away from them and stuck inside an office. He crosses out his answers and hands in his paper. He signs it F for farmer. His teacher returns it F for fail. His days at school are over, so the land in his village of Nkambe becomes his classroom. He spends his days and sometimes nights digging, planting, reading, asking. Even Mr. Ken, who lives nearby, can't answer all of Farmer Tantoh's questions. As he works, Farmer Tantoh meets others who share his love for the land and water. One of the people he meets recognizes how important his love of farming is and provides money to send him to college. Tantoh will be able to study the environment and agriculture at a local school. Finally, his classmates and teachers will praise him for talking about the weather, learning about water, and playing with the soil. At college, Farmer Tantoh is thirsty to learn everything he can. Although he soaks up plenty of facts and figures, clean water is still scarce. He contracts typhoid from drinking the local water. He is so sick he worries he may not live long enough to graduate. For 7 years, medical doctors and local healers used their knowledge, medicines, and herbs to help Farmer Tantoh feel better. During his recovery, he thinks a lot about his future and the future of his fellow Cameroonians. No one should die from drinking something that is necessary for life: water. After he is better, Farmer Tantoh gets a chance to continue his studies in the United States. There, he finds out about new ways to save the rain, find clean underground water, and grow gardens and crops without poisoning the soil and wells. Back in Cameroon, Farmer Tantoh is eager to use what he has learned. People are still getting sick because they don't have clean water. And when the dry season comes, there is hunger and drought. How can he help his people? Resources are limited. Most villages don't have tractors, motorized tillers, or irrigation systems to bring water to fields. Some don't even have roads. Farmer Tantoh creates a motto to help motivate himself and others. When you don't have what you want, use what you have. While he doesn't have much, he does have people. Tantoh gathers children and teenagers to join him in the fields. Some laugh at him or shake their heads, but others grab a shovel or a hoe. Together, they build botanical gardens and rain gardens that will hold water in the soil. These areas produce food or flowers all year long and provide green spaces to reconnect people with nature. The mayor of his home village, Nkambe, is impressed. Eventually, the mayor promises to make sure the gardens stay beautiful for years to come. By now, everyone in northwest Cameroon is calling Tantoh farmer, and they say it with pride. In the Fulani village of Akweto, Tantoh learns that people are drinking from the same stream as their cattle. The water contains harmful bacteria and many children are getting sick and dying. Tantoh helps the villagers locate a clean spring, but they don't have money for equipment and laborers to build a catchment that can hold the water. Abi Yun Gir, Tantoh says. It is Limbam phrase for community, meaning unity in strength. He translates into Fulani so that everyone in the village understands. Young and old, everyone in Akwetu pitches in to clear a path or carry stones. Together, they construct a catchment to capture the spring water. Before long, the entire village has crisp, clean water flowing year-round. 2 years later, a grandfather will tell Farmer Tantoh that since drinking the new water, not one of his neighbors or grandchildren has gotten sick or complained of a stomach ache. One project leads to another and another. Farmer Tantoh founds Save Your Future Association, a non-profit organization to which people around the world can donate money and supplies. With local and international support, he finds a way to bring clean water to Njirong, a village suffering after a 30-year conflict. He begins a water delivery service for blind students. He hires engineers to design stairways, railings, or ramps for villagers with physical disabilities. In places with large populations, communities build reservoirs so that in times of drought, people can get the water they need. Today, this is northwest Cameroon, sometimes wet, sometimes dry, but always very alive. Today, Farmer Tantoh does not work alone. A stream of hands works to find fresh, clean water. A trickle of hope runs through many villages, and a crop of young farmers who are proud to be farmers are digging in, planting ideas, and growing a movement. Proverbs or wise sayings are a part of most cultures and languages, especially in the country of Cameroon and on the African continent. Many proverbs are old. Other proverbs are fairly new. In fact, 2 of the proverbs listed here are Farmer Tantoh's originals. These sayings motivate Tantoh and his volunteers while they work together through challenging situations. If you don't have what you want, use what you have. You always learn more when you lose than when you win. The end. I hope you enjoyed this amazing story about this incredible environmental scientist. I will end with this inspirational reminder and powerful quote from Farmer Tantoh, which is written on the back of this book. It doesn't matter where you come from. You are never too small or insignificant to contribute to the long-term sustainability of our planet. By doing simple things to the best of your ability, you are improving our world.